Welcome to Strip Cover Lit, where we squeeze the bigger picture out of literature. We are here for a TBR for the month of October 2023, also to be known as Oct-Poe-Ber. As each week of October 2023 will feature two short stories from Edgar Allan Poe and one poem from Edgar Allan Poe, but there will also be a Bukowski poem on Saturday every week. These are my mysterious found poetry videos. I found a cache of videos, 29 total videos from 2020 and 2021, I believe, that I never posted, never did anything with. They were just sitting on an external hard drive that I have. Of course, Wednesdays through the month will remain as days set aside for Holly, the new novel from Stephen King. We are taking that 2 chapters at a time. Fridays will remain for the weekly reader, and then I have a new series starting on Thursdays during this month, the Darkest series. So let's start at the start, begin at the beginning. Sunday, the 1st of October, The Premature Burial, a short story by Edgar Allan Poe that I have never read before. So I am not sure at all what to expect from that short story. If you have any guidance, let me know in the comments section. But really, I'm just going to pick it up and go, as I will for all of these stories on Monday. The second Mondays are for poetry here on Strip Cover Lit, and that will not subside even for Oct-Poe-Ber. Lenore, the poem from Edgar Allan Poe. This will be either the second or third video on this channel for Lenore, so I will attempt to do something different with it. What? I am not quite sure yet. On the 3rd, we'll have the second video, I believe, for the Cask of Amontillado, so I will try to do something a little bit different with that as well. Wednesday brings Holly, episode 5. The novel from Stephen King is going all right. It's much smoother to read than was Fairy Tale last year, but I will not say that Holly is one of my favorite works from Stephen King. To me, Stephen King may have fallen off. I am not sure what is exactly going on with the author, except for rants on Twitter/X, so we will have to see what he turns to maybe next year. I hear that he has a book of short stories coming forth in 2024 that is supposedly over 600 pages long, so we'll see what that brings. On Thursday, the 5th, Emily Dickinson's Darkest Poem. I will not spoil the poem in question other than to say this is at least the second video that I will have had for this poem. It is a poem that I have found only recently in the Emily Dickinson canon, and the more and more I think about it, the darker and darker it gets. The Weekly Reader 8 on Friday, the 6th of October. I do not have any themes so far for October, but I am hoping to carry forward the horror story type proclivities with that series at least through October. And then Saturday the 7th, A Gold Pocket Watch, a poem by Charles Bukowski. I have no idea what is in that video, guys. I found all of these videos that were unlabeled. I opened them up long enough to get the title, the genre, most of them are poems, and then the author, and went ahead and closed them from there. You can imagine my surprise at 29 videos that were never uploaded to the internet. That is a free February. And had I not found those, it is likely that I would have ended the daily uploads at the end of September, which would have marked 6 consecutive months of daily uploads. But now that I have a free February's worth of videos, a free leap year February's worth of videos, I might attempt to make it an entire calendar year of daily uploads. But if I do that, it means I'll have to make 13 months worth of daily uploads, as the 13th month would be April, which is National Poetry Month, for which I will absolutely destroy the channel with daily poetry uploads because poetry is not all that popular on YouTube, and when you crash yourself in the algorithm like that, you pay the price. But you know what? I don't care. Sunday the 8th brings the Telltale Heart, what I believe will be the third video on the channel about the Telltale Heart. So once again, I will have to find something else to do with it. On the 9th, Mondays are for poetry, and Poetry Monday brings The Haunted Palace by Edgar Allan Poe, a poem that I have never read from Edgar Allan Poe, so we will see how that goes. On the 10th, continuing the stretch of Edgar Allan Poe that I haven't read, The Fall of the House of Usher. Never read it, so we will have to see how that goes. I remember when I was a child, my little sister had a book that was The Fall of the House of Usher. I don't know if it was just giant printed words as it was Edgar Allan Poe, and this was from the early 90s, and maybe children were expected not to be able to read the small words, but if the words were bigger, they could read it. I don't know what it was, but she definitely had it. On Wednesday the 11th, Holly, episode 6. On the 12th, we will have Edgar Allan Poe's darkest poem. I will not ruin that either, save to say that it will be the second video on the channel about this poem. On the 13th, we have the weekly reader number 9. Again, if you have any ideas for horror/spooky/scary literary ideas or questions, be sure to let me know. On the 14th, a non-urgent poem from Charles Bukowski. So non-urgent, in fact, that it laid in a hard drive for about 3 years before coming to this channel. So that is what it is. On the 15th, The Pit and the Pendulum, short story from Edgar Allan Poe. I know I have read this short story. I'm going to be real honest, I have absolutely no memory of it. So we will see how that goes. On the 16th, The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe, another video that I think is the third for that poem on this channel. Again, I will have, if I can get around to making it, I will have an illustrated The Raven, just a reading of The Raven, which will be illustrated by AI. So if you are looking forward to that sort of thing, look forward to that thing. On the 17th there, The Mask of the Red Death. This will be the third video for that short story on the channel, I believe. Holly, episode 7 on the 18th. On the 19th, The Shining, The Darkest Detail. The next video in the Darkest series on the channel. There is a full-length read-along series for The Shining on the channel, and I touched a little bit on this idea in that series, but I never fully explicated it, at least not to memory, and it is something that I have since added on to my thoughts about. And guys, this one is pretty dark. I think that this video, I have not scripted it out yet. These videos, the Darkest series, are going to be a bit more YouTubery than I have really ventured to do on the channel thus far, except for in a couple different series. But this one is going to be, this one's going to go some pretty dark places. The Weekly Reader, episode 10 on Friday the 20th. A Smile to Remember by Charles Bukowski on Saturday the 7th. The Black Cat by Edgar Allan Poe on Sunday the 22nd. Another short story that I have not read from Edgar Allan Poe. To My Mother, a poem from Edgar Allan Poe on Monday the 23rd. I have not read that poem, so we will see how that goes. The Murders in the Rue Morgue on October 24th. Adding to the list of Edgar Allan Poe that I have never tackled on this channel, and I've never even read that one. Holly, the 8th episode on October 25th, that Wednesday. On the 26th of October, As I Lay Dying, The Darkest Detail. And guys, if you are familiar with that novel, no, it's not that chapter. It's a detail that is very, very, very easy to overlook. It is something that even in the scholarship that I have seen about As I Lay Dying, I have never seen mentioned. And I'm really excited to pin out that video. On the 27th, The Weekly Reader, Episode 11. Again, let me know if you have any thoughts about subjects or questions or ideas around the horror genre or horror writers, etc. On the 28th, As Old as Woe in a Month About Poe from Charles Bukowski. On the 29th, The Devil in the Belfry, a short story from Edgar Allan Poe that I have never read. A Dream Within a Dream by Edgar Allan Poe on the 30th, which will, I believe, be the second video about that poem on this channel. And on the 31st, we will end the month where Edgar Allan Poe began. The Gold Bug was his very first published short story. The previous week, The Murders in the Rue Morgue, from what I understand, was his most successful and highest-paying short story during his life. And then The Gold Bug on the 31st, again, was his very first poem, or his very first story, which was published. Another story from Edgar Allan Poe that I have never read. So that's it. That is Oct-Poe-Ber here on the channel. I hope to have you back for every one of these videos. There are videos on the channel every day. Look, I will concede that this is going to be a whole lot of work. This is going to be more work than I have put in quite a while, so if some things do have to be rearranged, I do apologize. If some things do not end up happening, I also apologize. But right now, this is the plan. So if you have any thoughts, let me know them in the comments section. And other than that, I hope to have you back for all of these videos.